This video is done especially for Damooch, because he loves Bumblebee.
Hello everybody, it is 2016, so I thought I'd kick off the year with a G1 Transformer, Pretender Bumblebee. I like Pretenders, as you probably know at this point, so I thought why not do this guy who I got at Rollout Roll Call last year. So I haven't had it that long, but I thought it was about time, and it was an easy one to do, to jump back into hopefully doing videos a bit more frequently. So let's have a look at the guy that I call Pretender Bumblebee.
We will start by having a look at Pretender Bumblebee's shell. It actually reminds me a lot of a highway police officer kind of look, but it has a lot of dem Bumblebee colours, but it has some nice additions. It has the red, and oddly enough beige, which I wouldn't have thought would work, but I don't know, for me it does, for some reason. I gotta say, compared to the other Pretender shells, it doesn't really stand out too much. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing amazing either. It's just another shell. His helmet actually really makes me think of like the T-1000 from Terminator 2, or actually Highway from Cops, the cartoon. And when you pop it off, you get to see the paint scratchings on his face thanks to the helmet. It's kind of always been a problem with Pretenders though, so But nevertheless, the head sculpt is pretty good, apart from the paint scratchings. It does to me look like someone from G.I. Joe maybe worked on this back in the day. Even so, I think it's a fairly decent looking human, apart from his dead eyes. Now, the shell itself is very hollow. It's very light because it's got nothing on the inside, but it can have its arms move up and around, and that's about it. I mean, that's a Pretender shell. Doesn't do a huge amount, and he'll split in half, obviously, to open up Bumblebee, and that's really about it. So, what about this guy's accessories? So here's the helmet again, no shock. The only thing I'll mention is the sticker's really nice, but without it, the helmet loses a lot of its wow factor. Inside is all the paint scratchings, obviously. We have a small gun. Really, it's only for the inner robot, but it can be held by the shell as well, which is pretty neat. It's a nice shape. It's not what I would call a stereotypical Bumblebee-shaped gun. Then we have the big one, which is only for the shell. It cannot be held by the inner robot at all. It's got some nice designs to it. I like these cylinder things on the back here for the ammo clips, maybe? I don't know. Fairly decent looking gun. It's a nice combo of guns, even if they are just black. But let's take a look at that inner robot I mentioned just a few minutes ago. One quick thing before we move on, and it's about the shell. The inside of the shell, anyway, the way that this goes together is pegs and ports. But there's a lot of small ones, and over time, you know, toy damage and whatnot. I've got one on mine, luckily, which is broken. Not luckily, but it's only one, so that's kind of good. If you are concerned, ask an eBay seller to show you the pegs on the inside. It doesn't hinder it a huge amount, but, you know, if it's a thing that'll bother you, have an ask. Now, the Bumblebee on the inside, the little robot guy himself, I really like. I think he's a damn good little Bumblebee. He's maybe a bit fat and his arms a bit thin, and yo, he's got some junk in his trunk, you know what I'm saying, guys? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But his overall shape is damn good, and yo, that head sculpt is pretty damn accurate for the time it came out. So this Bumblebee, because he's a G1 toy, has a lot of G1 articulation. The arms swing in and out, and they go all the way around, all transformation kind of woo-woo. The head goes up and down again, due to the transformation woo-woo. So you can have him look at his chest, his feet kind of pivot up and down. You know, it does nothing really, but they're the heel spur, so it keeps him nice and secure. That's really his articulation. He's got nothing else. He's got the little gun, which I mentioned before, which he can hold, as well as the Pretender shell. He holds it fine. He can aim it up and block people, and that's always a good thing. But the big gun can only be used for the shell, unfortunately. But let's take him to his vehicle mode now, shall we? The Volkswagen Beetle. It's neat, it rolls, and it looks hella close, I would say, to the animation model. Granted, we've got paint scratchings out the wazoo here, but the overall shape's great. Yes, the head is very, very visible, and maybe they could have sorted this out by having it flip kind of this way, you know, and going inside. I don't know, I ain't a toy creator from that time period, but the gun can go on the top of the car if you want him to be armed so he can blap and drive. But again, I think it's a very successful little car mode and a fun transformation for it as well. So, Pretender Bumblebee. I like him a lot. He's a very good little toy for the time period. Comparing him to the other Pretenders, he looks good. He fits in well. He is that kind of middle ground, as I've mentioned before in my videos. The robot is a lot of fun. It's got a great transformation, and it's one of the best looking Bumblebees for the time period, I think. So the only negative thing I guess I would have to say about it is, okay, he's got some junk in the trunk, the head's a little bit visible, but maybe the fact that he's not a unique Pretender character kind of bumps him down in terms of that kind of thing, like he's no Bondage Tom Selleck or anything like that. But he is a very strong Bumblebee, and if you love your Bumblebees, I think it's a must-buy. So until next time, everybody, I hope this has been entertaining. I will catch you later for something else.